Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go.
Welcome to Main Event Mondays. This is Noel coming in at you, and I am joined by...
Me. I said me.
It's the lovely Moo. So we're going to start this off with our sponsor. Who's our sponsor?
Me.
You are the sponsor. Candle Time 2022 at gmail.com.
They pay me money. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I wish.
So we have 4 cents available right now. We have peach.
To be the
yeah, they're melting in here. It's so hot.
Huh. Interesting. So we have peach. We have coconut.
The coconut smells weird.
Coconut smells like coconut. It smells delicious.
I like this one.
It's peach.
Yeah.
Coconut. I love the coconut.
So warm.
We have Sea Breeze and Lakeshore. So if you're interested, check us out. We have a Facebook page. Yeah, I know. It's okay.
They're melting.
They're not melting. It's fine.
Yes, they are.
So we're filming this on Easter. So hope everyone had a great Easter Sunday. My family, we're not doing anything on Easter. My older sister and her family is going to be doing a ham next weekend, so I'll be over there doing that with them. What's wrong?
Nothing. What?
Oh, okay.
We did something.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, I guess, what did we do? No.
Okay. So the Easter Bunny came and
Left some eggs.
Left eggs all around the house with little notes in them. There were 3 golden eggs. We only found 2 of them, though.
And the Easter Bunny also brought...
There were 3 golden eggs, like I said. There was one for me, Moo. You're a beautiful Moo. There was one for my little brother, for the little man, my little brother. And then there was one for the producer, or ex-producer. I don't know yet.
No, he's not ex-producer. He's just not down here right now. He's tired.
Yeah, he didn't even want to do Easter.
I know. He was up late playing Call of Duty. Enjoying the last days of his spring break. Yeah. And then the Easter Bunny also brought...
Gift baskets. My little brother got a Hot Wheel one, which is so cool.
Yeah.
I had chalk, a whole bunch of, like, cool stuff in it.
Yeah.
I just got a normal basket.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover some of the top news stories. Well, some of the news stories. They're not necessarily top. We had a lot of things going on last week. Trump's fine got reduced.
Hold up. Didn't someone cancel Easter?
Didn't someone cancel Easter?
Yeah, didn't, like, Trump cancel Easter?
Trump did not cancel Easter.
I mean, not Trump. Biden.
No, he didn't cancel Easter. He doesn't have the power to cancel Easter, but he did something, and we're going to be reading about that. It's our 3rd article that we're actually going to be reading about. So,
thank goodness.
Yeah. So you're foreshadowing a little bit. So, but yeah, last week, one of the big topics was, or big conversations going on online was how the appeals court reduced the fine that Trump had to pay in the New York stuff. I still think that's kind of rubbish because all they did was set it so high, and then that way when they lowered it back down, there was oh, he kind of got a victory, but it really wasn't a victory. The victory would have been like, this is crap. The judge should not be setting the value of Mar-a-Lago. The market sets the price of Mar-a-Lago, so the entire thing is just junk. Yeah, that's a little way over your head. You okay?
What?
Zoning out on me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch over to screen share and bring up first article, which is I'm using ABC News today. I'm trying to keep it fair and going on different ones.
Pop culture moms.
Yeah. So Netanyahu continues to essentially give the finger to Biden over Gaza, Senator Van Hollen says.
Who's Netanyahu?
Okay, so
Actually.
Netanyahu is this guy. I believe it's this guy. Yeah, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember what he looks like. I'm pretty sure that's him. He is the prime minister of Israel.
What's Israel?
Israel is a country in the Middle East. It's one of our strongest allies in the area.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen on Sunday tore into Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over what Van Hollen said was Netanyahu's refusal to acquiesce to President Joe Biden's request for more humanitarian action in Gaza amid the war with Hamas. So he was appearing on ABC's News this week. Van Hollen, a Maryland lawmaker and member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, also said Biden needs to back up his no excuses language with real action. We have a situation where Netanyahu continues to essentially give the finger to the president of the United States, and we're sending more bombs, Van Hollen told This Week co-anchor Martha Raddatz. And that doesn't make sense. What's up?
What's the finger?
Flipping
the
the
middle
bird.
finger?
Flipping the bird.
So the middle finger.
The middle finger, yeah.
Uh,
Which
he flips the mirror off?
he's using descriptive imagery to explain what Netanyahu's doing. And that's just from his perspective, right? So there's lots of different perspectives on this whole Israel-Hamas confrontation. My personal stance is it's an internal affair, which means the United States should not be doing anything to support or not support. Basically, I don't think we need to sanction them or do anything against them, but I also don't think we need to be sending funds or anything over to them as well. It's their personal internal problems, and let them deal with it how they see fit. That's my personal thought.
Nice.
Now, that doesn't mean that I condone what Israel's doing, and it doesn't mean I condone what Hamas is doing. Obviously, there's lots of fighting and bloodshed going on over there. It's not okay. But I don't think that the United States we're no longer in a position to be the world police, so to say. Okay. So yeah, check that one out. It's interesting that this is going to be a big topic of conversation throughout this entire election cycle, is the Israel-Hamas confrontation that's going on. Okay, next article. Trump is inciting political violence, sharing Biden hogtied video. It says the Biden campaign. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm looking at the screen.
You're like this, trying to kick me.
Yeah, because you're shaking your leg.
Oh, sorry. So President Joe Biden's campaign on Saturday extricated former President Donald Trump for sharing a video on social media depicting what appears to be an image of Biden tied up and kidnapped in the back of a pickup truck. This image from Donald Trump is the type of crap you post when you're calling for a bloodbath. Oh, my God. Or when you tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Biden's campaign communications director, Michael Tyler, said in a statement to ABC News. Okay, so this is interesting. Again, they're conflating what Trump said about the bloodbath, and also again misconstruing what he told the Proud Boys. I'm not a Donald Trump fan per se, but it gets very old that I have to defend Donald Trump from people who just don't pay attention to what is actually going on. Like this, they misconstrue, they take out of context what's going on to paint a picture of a way. So just because Donald Trump reposts a picture of someone who has their First Amendment right to, picture Joe Biden as hogtied and being kidnapped in the back of a pickup truck, that's their First Amendment right. There's not actually kidnapped. They're using imagery language to try to cast this larger thing than what it actually is. People do not like Biden. They think that Biden needs to go away.
Some people do.
So they have a First Amendment right to express their discontent with the current regime. And I use the word regime instead of administration because at this point they are a regime. They're a dictator regime. So it's interesting. It continues on. Earlier this month, while discussing the American auto industry, Trump said there would be a bloodbath if he did not win the presidential election. See, again, they're taking this out of context. They put in their American auto industry, but they're talking. They failed to give the context of what Trump was saying with the bloodbath. The bloodbath comment was actually talking about the automobile industry actually taking major hits from foreign cars versus American cars. Trump in his campaign said that he meant a bloodbath for the U.S. auto industry, and Trump quickly fundraised off of claims his political opponents are spreading misinformation about his remarks. Well, they are. So, I mean, he can fundraise off of that. Even if you guys think that what you're saying is true, that doesn't make it true. And just because you guys believe one way it's just dumb. Okay. So Trump is regularly inciting political violence, and it's time for people to take him serious. Just ask the Capitol Police officers who were attacked protecting our democracy on... Oh, my God. You guys were not protecting your democracy on January 6th. In all reality, you guys... oh, my God. It was a riot that got out of hand, and people got hurt. But if we were to put this in context with other riots that happened during the Summer of Love, this was a very, very minor one. Whereas Minneapolis suffered millions of dollars of property damage, people losing their livelihoods. So, I mean, I don't like the what are you giving me that look for?
Well, what is the Summer of Love?
The Summer of Love is, okay, you remember when George Floyd, do you remember who George Floyd is? George Floyd was a man in Minneapolis who was high on fentanyl and other drugs, who was trying to pass a counterfeit, I think, $20 bill. Well, while the police were doing their investigation, the overdose that he had of fentanyl started to affect him. He asked to get removed out of the cruiser. The cop, whatever his name is, Chauvin, I think his name was, ended up going to prison for murder, basically. Which wasn't a fair trial because, I mean, the BLM riots were going on and they were pressuring the jurors to find him. I mean, there was a bunch of things that were wrong with that entire situation. The simple fact is this man who was high on drugs, who was overdosing, died in police custody. Now, that's a big deal because police have a responsibility to make sure that anyone they're detaining or arresting or anything like that is healthy, and so there obviously should be some ramifications. What I'm getting at is the backlash on it was higher. This was during COVID. Everyone was wrapped up in the house, couldn't go out, whatnot. So after this happened, there was a huge movement over the summer, and a bunch of BLM riots took place across the country, which is now known as the Summer of Love. It is not actually a Summer of Love. It was a Summer of Destruction, but it's now known as the Summer of Love.
Why?
It's just a term that people use to describe that summer.
It should be called the Summer of
Into the mic.
Awfulness. It should be called the Summer of Awfulness.
Yeah. The Summer of Destruction.
Destruction.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, there was that's the Summer of Love. And in that summer, there was Donald Trump was president. There was Antifa and BLM riots outside the White House where they actually injured well over 100 state and local law enforcement and federal agents. They set fire to a historic church. They were breaking barricades down, and they actually forced Donald Trump into a bunker. So yeah, that
were
that
they
day.
trying to protect Donald Trump, or
No, the people that got hurt were protecting Donald Trump from the rioters, but these rioters were seeking destruction.
did rioters force him into it?
Yeah.
What happened?
Because they started breaking the gates to the White House. They started doing that.
How
I
did
believe
Donald Trump get saved, though?
because he went into the bunker, and then the law enforcement and military. I believe it was the National Guard.
But I thought the rioters put Donald Trump into the bunker.
No, they forced him, meaning that their actions were deemed serious enough to present a threat to Donald Trump. So that forced him to go into a bunker, a secure bunker, so that way he'd be protected. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, that day is more of a threat to our democracy. And I hate using that term because we're not a democracy. We're
What's
a
a
republic.
democracy?
What's that?
What's a democracy?
Democracy just means that everyone gets a chance to vote, whereas a republic means that we vote for a representative, and that representative casts their vote on our behalf. So we technically don't live in a democracy; we live in a republic.
The water's hot.
It is hot. Go grab. Oh, give me 2 seconds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's hot down here.
So yeah, the Biden campaign, again, taking things that Donald Trump does out of context to make it seem worse. You don't even have to take it out of context. Donald Trump is nefarious for stepping on his own, his own foot. He puts his foot in his mouth all the time. But he's definitely not this vindictive, evil, violent person that the left tries to make him out to be. It's quite ridiculous. I mean, if you just sit back and listen to what he says, there's some things that make sense, and there's some things that are just like, not sure you quite understand what the heck everyone's looking for here, bud. So,
putting his foot in his mouth was a figure of speech, right?
yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. So moving on. Well, hold on. So in the video Trump shared on a social media platform on Friday, an SUV and a pickup truck are seen driving down a rainy highway with several large flags, including pro-police, thin blue line ones. On the truck's tailgate is a rendering meant to look as if the president is hogtied and laying down in the bed of the pickup truck. Trump shared so again, this isn't even Donald Trump doing it. He saw it and reposted it. I mean, you can't blame people for having their First Amendment right, and you can't, sit here and say that Trump's calling for violence because he reshared something. It's just dumb. So let's go over to the one that you were talking about, which is the Easter topic. So White House bashes dishonest Republican criticism of Biden's transgender proclamation on Easter. So he didn't transgenderism. So Biden didn't cancel Easter, but what he did do is he made a proclamation that the day is going to be Transgender Inclusivity Day or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said. But the White House is pushing back against top Republicans' misleading criticism of President Joe Biden for issuing a proclamation in support of transgender people on the same day as Easter. That's what he did. Didn't cancel Easter, but he made a proclamation to include transgender people, which all it is.
Holidays include everyone.
Exactly. Our holidays are meant to be national holidays. They're meant for everyone.
So that's just not something to do, because holidays are for everyone.
Yeah. Because
so why would you do that?
Well, what it is, sis, and I'll tell you my viewpoint on this is the left likes to make these dividing lines between groups of people. They like to put us into identity groups. And because you might fit in this particular identity group, they want to pay homage to you. They want to make you feel like you're better than whatever, right? Whereas most people on the right don't really care who you are. Just you be you. You just don't force your beliefs on me. That's typically the people on the right or in the middle of the road. So all this is just a talking point to try gaining votes, more or less. Because in all reality, it doesn't matter if you're transgender, it doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, it doesn't matter any of that stuff. Easter is a national holiday. Yes, it stems from the Christian religion, which is where Jesus Christ rose from the grave and whatnot.
I know what Christian is.
Right? But that's what Easter is about Jesus Christ rising from the grave after he died on the cross. Right?
I never knew that. I thought it was about a bunny that laid eggs.
No. So here's a quick history lesson for you. Okay, so the Christian religion as it was forming, and the Roman Catholics were one of the major pushers of the Catholicism, which is a form of Christianity. As they were overtaking other lands, these people who are pagans, and pagan just means that they have belief in multiple gods or multiple powerful entities. Some of the traditions from the pagan side actually got wrapped up into some of the celebrations. So Easter, with the bunny, actually stems, I do believe, from the Nordic area, if I remember correctly, and it's actually a blending of the fertility season, which is why the bunny is representative of it, and the regrowth of life, because spring is where things start to regrow. It's very we have the world has a lot of blending, mixing that goes on in our cultures, which is one reason why America is so great. Is we've always been welcoming to other cultures, as long as they don't try to take over the culture that's already there, right? We're a melting pot. There's really good things that come from, say, Latin America that come into the U.S., like tacos. You love tacos.
I hate tacos.
Whatever.
He does not know. You do not know me.
She says all this stuff, but these are things that she used to love. Like, so your stuff changes, I guess. You like quesadillas, right? You like Mexican food.
Yes, I like rice.
Yeah, you like Mexican rice. I know you like that. But
Yeah.
but we have in America, we're a big melting pot. We have a lot of cultures that come into it. But the same can be said with religions and stuff like that. The problem with most people have with religions is there's a lot of con men that use religion in order to like enrich themselves, which is unfortunate because there are some powerful messages in the religion that comes out of religion, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So Easter is a Christian holiday, mainly. However, it is also a national holiday for the United States.
It's fun. I like it. Except when big places have an Easter party.
Yeah, you were talking about the Easter egg hunt that we went to on Friday.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Every single egg, like 1,000 eggs were gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah, there was a lot of kids and lots of fast kids. So, okay, the White House is pushing back against top Republicans' misleading criticism of President Joe Biden for issuing a proclamation in support of transgender people on the same day as Easter. A spokesman for the president rejected the attacks from the House Speaker and others that Biden's message for the Transgender Day of Visibility goes against Christianity. Well, it kind of actually does go against Christianity. But that's neither here nor there, because the simple fact is it's a national holiday, and you don't have to be a Christian to celebrate Easter. Easter is about a time of new life, right? So I understand that it stems from the Christian religion. However, people who are not Christian can also celebrate this because it's not meant to be exclusive to everyone else.
Anyone can celebrate it. A goat could celebrate it.
As a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Well, again, this whole thing could be avoided if he doesn't have to pander, right? If he didn't pander to the LGBT, specifically the transgender community, all of this would be avoided. He can just say that he doesn't have to make a proclamation for a specific group, because it's not a specific group. It's all Americans. Like this is the part that really frustrates me with our politics in this day and age, is it's not about single groups. We are all American. So it's just sad. Sadly, it's unsurprising politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. President Biden will never abuse his faith for political purpose or for profit, Bates added. But he did. He abused his faith. He actually, and he's doing it for political purposes and for profit, technically. So that's just a lie. Biden is the only American's second Catholic president, regularly attends Mass, faced mounting conservative criticism over the weekend because of a proclamation issued on Friday honoring the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans for the Transgender Day of Visibility. What he did is he didn't have to do it on Easter, right? I don't think what he wants to do here is wrong, but he didn't have to do it on Easter because Easter is already inclusive for everyone. What he decided to do was do it on Easter, which actually started dividing the country again. So again, it goes back to his inept ability to actually govern properly.
Why not like the Saturday before Easter?
Perfect
or
example.
the Monday after
Or the
Easter.
Monday after, right?
Or Friday. Or literally any other day but Easter.
Yeah. So again, I don't think what he wants to do is wrong, but picking it on Easter, doing it on Easter, was a political move in order to divide the country, which is just absolutely stupid. Because Easter, any of our holidays are meant to be holidays for everyone, right? Independence Day is a holiday for everyone. It doesn't necessarily mean the same thing to everyone, because you got to keep in mind that as America was growing, we had very bad things that we were doing, right? So slavery was still around until after the Civil War, which is where Juneteenth comes into play, which is where the freed slaves in Texas finally got the news that they were free.
We're actually in school. My teacher's reading us a class book, and it's about like, I don't know what it's about, but it's like about these young girls, and there are people invading the country, and people are having to move, and things are going on. And my teacher says she loves the books. She has a whole bunch of them that are kid friendly, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we've also read some about like wars. We read one about we read a short, I don't remember. It was kind of like a short story. And it was about a war, World War II.
Okay.
This man, it was fake, but it was like fictional. It was like real, but it was fictional, like the people. There were these people that spoke something, and they had to go into like the school where they had to, like this boarding school where they had to stop using their language.
Yeah.
So, because the United States and the English speakers were thinking that they would help them by being able to like communicate with them. And then this one man snuck away when he was like 16 to go join the war, even though he had to be 17 and older. And no one knew his age, but he knew his age. And he was in the World War II, and he helped make like the code, like a code.
Cool. Yeah, you can tell me more about it later, okay?
Yeah, it was a good book. I liked it.
So what I was saying was the 4th of July, Independence Day, doesn't necessarily mean the same to everyone. But one thing that is very important about Independence Day is the simple fact that we broke free from England and determined that we were going to self-govern. And to me, that is a very important holiday to celebrate, because that put us on the path to start rectifying some of these injustices that we saw in the world. It didn't happen overnight. A lot of people wish it would have happened a lot sooner. But the wonderful thing about America is we learn from our past and we grow. Now, we have different things. Thanksgiving, that's a very important holiday for Americans. It's one of my favorite days. Christmas again is a Christian holiday, but it's a very important holiday. It's actually meant more, in the way I view it, is Christmas is meant to kind of break free of the depression of the winter. But,
yeah, winter's really sad. I hate winter. Yeah. Like the snow is pretty. Like it's pretty until it starts getting not pretty.
Interesting. So right here, the date of Easter, which varies, fell on the same day this year. Biden has issued a proclamation marking March 31st as a transgender day of visibility every year since he took office in 2021. Okay, so I will correct myself. I thought Biden only did it this year. Okay, well, if he already set it up as there, then that actually makes sense. So yeah, I would agree that if he's already set it up and it's been March 31st since he's taken office, then he didn't do this purposely to divide the country. So yeah, I'll correct myself on that one. I still think he could have moved it the day, so that way he could have avoided the political landmine that he stepped in. But it just goes to show that his presidency is
Oh my gosh.
It is a car crash. His presidency is a car crash. He's done nothing but new.
Fatality.
Hopefully it's not a fatality. I kind of enjoy the U.S. and I'm hoping we can actually survive the rest of his presidency.
How long of his presidency do we have?
If he loses in November to Donald Trump, he's out next January, and I'm hoping we can survive that long. I don't know.
Yes.
It seems like these last 3.5 years have just been, well, I guess
Sucked.
almost 3.5 years have just been horrible.
Awful. Horrendous.
Yeah. So, moving on, Trump appeals ruling that allowed DA Fannie Willis to stay on Georgia election interference case. So this is interesting because Fannie Willis is wow. The things that have came out just show that she is a completely corrupt district attorney, and I don't know how she's still in the case. Granted, I may not know everything. There is a no, but just from what I've read and seen, it's makes no sense to me. So former President Donald Trump and several of his co-defendants on Friday filed their appeal of the disqualification ruling that allowed Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis to remain on the Georgia election interference case. The motion from Trump and others to the Georgia Court of Appeals argues that the Judge Scott McAfee erred as a matter of law by not requiring dismissal and DA Willis's disqualification. This legal error requires that the court's immediate review, the 51-page filing states, and then, the appeal came from the Trump and co-defendants, including Michael Roman, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, and Jeffrey Clark, as part of their ongoing effort to have the Fulton County indictment dismissed and Willis and her entire office removed from the case, which what has come out, I think, is actually a very well-founded request. Nathan Wade, the lead prosecutor of the Fulton County election interference case, resigned as a special prosecutor on March 15th, hours after McAfee issued his ruling that either Willis or Wade must step aside from the case due to a significant appearance of impropriety stemming from the romantic relationship between the DA and the prosecutor. Yeah. Okay, what's up?
I didn't get any of that.
What didn't you get?
All of it.
Well, I know, but what part? Like, what are you wanting to know?
All of it.
Okay. Trump is on trial in Georgia for supposedly interfering with the election. Now, the evidence that the prosecutors put out that's in the public eye does not support that claim, at least as far as I can see. If I was on the jury, I'd just be like, you guys are stretching just because you hate this guy. I mean, that's all it appears like to me. But anyway, Fannie Willis is the DA, and she does not like Donald Trump. She wants Donald Trump in prison.
Why?
Because she's a Democrat, and Democrats hate Donald Trump. That's basically the main thing. But she had a romantic relationship with a guy named